Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Pose Season 3, Episode 1. So our show is back, and it is going to be a shortened season. This is the final season, you guys remember. They announced that not too long ago. I was disappointed, was hoping that this show would have a longer run than it's going to have, 3 seasons and then shortened, which means it's only going to be 7 episodes this time. And we already saw 2 of them, so there's only 5 left. So yeah, you guys, the show is a little different. It has fast forwarded some years, and I don't know. We're gonna see how we feel about it. You definitely can see some marked M-A-R-K-E-D changes in the writing. I still enjoy the show, but I can tell that there is a new batch of writers on the show as well. But you know what? They're going to do what they can do best with these last few episodes that they have. I'm also disappointed that they're giving them a shortened season. I feel like the show is too good for that. Like, they deserved to be able to have a full season to fully tell their story and close out whatever they're trying to close out. It does feel a tad bit rushed. So we just kind of have to get on the wagon for So we just kind of have to get on the wagon and enjoy the ride for what it is. So that's how we're going to look at it this season, you guys. So yeah, no more further ado. Let's get to the review, shall we? All right, you guys. So like I said, it's fast forwarded to 1994. Okay. Definitely some changes from where they were in the 80s, the last time that we saw them. It seems that the house of Evangelista is no longer. Everybody has moved on to maybe bigger and better things. We see Elektra, she's still working in the Hellfire Club that's actually being raided and shut down by your boy Giuliani, okay, causing problems even back then. She was like, he fucking with her coin, y'all. We see that Lamar, who was one of Elektra's people at one time, one of her kids at one time that lived in the house, House of Wintour, he has started his own house, House of Khan. And he's changed the game, or he's part of this new generation where now they want to compete for not just trophies, not just the say that you won, but also for money. And that changes the scope of the ballroom competition. So Elektra, of course, and Blanca, being from the old school, they don't really like what's becoming of the ballroom. Okay, so when Khan sees them at the club and is challenging them to a battle, of course, they're just like, Blanca's like, I would never give you the time of day, But evidently, House of Khan is where it's at right now. So he's really feeling himself. And then we move on into the ball. And right now we have the House of Pendarvis. They are on is that the name of the house, you guys? They are on the floor at the time, and they are killing it. Okay, we got Pray Tell up there as usual, giving his announcements. Okay, all his cute little witty comments. And they're working that floor. The council up there at the top, they announced that it ain't just the trophies, you guys. They got $1,000. They waving the money in the air that they're going to be given to the winner of the ball tonight. And of course, the House of Khan wants to walk as well. So yeah, they come out and it's a whole new feel. They got their pretty girl. You know how everybody has their pretty girl, their pretty face girl. She comes out first. Then they have a beautiful dark-skinned girl. They call her Nefertiti. Then here comes Lamar. And you guys remember, Lamar was honed by Elektra. So he is very good as well. As a matter of fact, Pray Tell is like, all hail Father Khan. So, all right. When the council judges the 2 houses, House of Khan wins, 10s across the board. Blanca is there watching this travesty, what's become of the ballroom, and she is not happy. But oh boy, beware the wrath of Khan. Now later on, when we see the board, they're at their usual diner where they're having their meeting, and they really don't have the $1,000. They was only waving around ones. So Pray Tell was like, okay, what we gonna do about this? They're concerned because House of Khan, they a little gutter. They've been known to beat some asses when they ain't got their reward, And true enough, here come the House of Khan. They come and confront the council like, we need our money. And, they were just like, Pray Tell is trying to sass them out of their money, like, you gonna get your money, don't worry about it. All right, but House of Khan, they not having that. So we have one big blow up in the diner. All right, a whole bunch of fighting, a whole bunch of throwing food, people sitting by watching. Yeah, it's a mess. All right, now what else is different? Blanca is now she's a nurse's aide and she works at a hospital, and it seems that she has a boyfriend. She's happy in a relationship with a guy named Christopher. I was like, this is not the guy from the beach. That's the last guy that I remembered. So then I had to rearrange my mind. I was like, is this the guy? And I was like, no, that doesn't look like him. Anyway, she's at his house, sleeping peacefully. You can tell she's very happy in this relationship. But she goes back and forth between her home and his home. So, you know, she's got to get home because she still has her one kid there, Damon. But you know what? She tells her man that, listen, just let me get Damon out and on his feet, and then her house will be empty and she'll be all his. So good for Blanca. Blanca has found love. We also see Angel and Poppy. They're doing very well. We had promises that they were going to do well because Poppy always had the talent. And then, of course, Angel was the model. So Poppy was managing her and all of that. So we see them. It seems that Poppy is a talent agent now. She shows up at his office, seems to be entertaining some receptionist all up in his face. You know, she's like, am I interrupting something? Angel looks like she might be a little, she might be feeling neglected. You know, she's kind of feeling like she hasn't been working as much as she had been in the past, you know, and Poppy is saying, listen, I'm lining the jobs up for you. All you got to do is come in there and you just got to wow them. That's all you got to do. You know, don't worry about it. But of course, Angel is starting to feel a certain kind of way about, you know, not working as much. But you can tell that Poppy still loves Angel to death. Angel is feeling maybe insecure, but good for Poppy, right? He definitely had the talent, but I was just like, wow, he really did. I mean, he really cleaned up for real, for real. Pray tell is working at a department store. I never thought that I would see him, that he just doesn't seem like the type. I don't know what he was working as doing before. I don't remember. I don't even know if they ever said, but anyway, he's working at the department store. He's spraying Chanel No. 5 on white women walking by. Okay. But times is rough for Pray Tell, because we know that he was starting to have a drinking problem the last time we saw him. Well, now he's a full-fledged drunk, okay? And he can't even get through the day without taking a little sip on his flask. So I was like, oh, Pray Tell, this is not good. By the time he get off work, he has to go to yet another funeral. And he is stone drunk, okay? The council, part of their job is to make sure that they are there for the funerals. Sometimes these people don't have any family members there, right? So they're there. Pray Tell is feeling like he can't do it no more. Like, how many of these are we going to have to sit in on? You know, he goes up there and he sees the boy that's in the casket. He's like, wasn't he just the one that walked the last time? So it's like every time he turns around, somebody else is dying, and it is just way too much for Pray Tell. And remember, Pray Tell is HIV positive. So yeah, it's kind of like he's looking at his mortality right in the face. So he can't take this anymore. He tells the council he ain't emceeing the balls no more. It ain't even fun no more. The kids these days, they not the same as back in the day. They a mess. All it is just some tacky lip syncing now. Okay, no real true art to it. So yeah, Pray Tells, no, he ain't doing it no more. Then we see Blanca, and actually this is where we find out that she is working as a nurse's assistant, and she is working in what looks like the AIDS ward. One of her patients is Cubby, and Cubby is the brother of Lamar, who they were both in the house of Wintour with Electra. Okay, well now Cubby is full-blown AIDS and looking like he is going to be dying soon. So, you know, she's there with him, and she told him that she reached out to his mom. You know, that's part of her job to, you know, make sure that those that are, you know, she kind of hesitates, and he was like, what, dying? You know, she just wants to make sure that the mother has a chance to talk to Cubby. So, you know, he's all upset, doesn't really want his mom to see him looking like that, but, you know, wants to see his mom. And he's blind now. He's gone blind. So Blanca, you know, always the beacon of light, always the supportive, hopeful one. You know, she tells him he looks beautiful, and the mom comes in there, and it's just sad. I mean, a special place in the heart for somebody that can work in the AIDS ward, because, I mean, everybody is nearing their end. I can't imagine the kind of strength that takes. So anyway, when she comes out, she's talking to What is Sandra Bernhardt's name on the show? I worked really hard to try to remember everybody's name, and she was the only one I couldn't remember. Was it Judy? Y'all remind me what her name is. Blanca's talking to her and telling her, that she never imagined that she would be doing something like this. Last time we saw Blanca, she worked at she had her nail salon, right? But remember, they shut her down and all of this, and she was going to be fighting that. We don't know what happened in that fight. Because remember, she was supposed to be going against old girl who owned all of the property in New York. But yet and still she's landed here at this hospital, and she's working as a nurse's assistant. But, what's the next thing for Blanca? Well, you know what? You could be a nurse. You have a natural flair for this. So, why can't you do something like that? And I guess it's something Blanca never thought about, but then when she really does think about it, maybe she can do that. So it gives Blanca a little something to think about. She takes it on home. You guys remember, this is 1994 now. So when she gets home, she turns on the news and she's just like, oh my God. Okay, I was like, what bad news, Blanca? We see Pray Tell take it on home that night as well. Remember, this has been after, a long day at work, drinking at the funeral. So Pray Tell is not in the best of moods. When he gets home, he's drunk. Ricky is there, in good spirits, cooking dinner for his man because they have something to celebrate, okay? Except that Pray Tell is not in the mood, like I said, all right? Always sour, drunk, nobody feel like dealing with that. He has a problem with Pray Tell drinking all the time, Pray Tell says, oh my God, your generation is so dramatic, insults the boy. He telling him how he did get a call back from the Janet Jackson tour, but you know what? You don't even care because all you think about is drinking all the fucking time. Pray Tell don't feel like arguing. He gonna do what he want to do. He's stubborn, he's alcoholic. He definitely ain't gonna listen to somebody the likes of Ricky who's younger than him and can't tell him nothing about life, right? So he just kind of fluffs Ricky off. He ain't got time. But then the phone rings and it's Blanca. She was just like, oh my God, turn on the TV. Come over. We gotta watch OJ, as he's on the run. And I was like, Lord, are they really watching OJ run from the police? So we see that Pray Tell and Ricky, they hightail it over to Blanca's house. We're about to have a watch party. It's funny because that's really what everybody was doing that day when it happened. I can remember I've told you guys that story, how we went and stood over the over the overpass on the 405 when they went on the when they passed through underneath where we lived. Yes, it was an exciting time. How morbid, right? But anyway, Blanca wants to see how it's going to turn out. Pray Tell is saying that, he ain't killed that girl, that, right now being black is the crime. And it was just pretty much showed how everybody had their own feelings about whether or not OJ did it. I remember that when they were running like that, I actually was like, oh my God, he must have done it if he's running. So when Blanca said it, I was just like, that's exactly what I thought as well. Okay. But then they were like, oh no, he's depressed. He might kill himself. He's in the car. He's in the back seat on the floor, and his friend AJ, is that his name? Was Al Collins, AC, was driving. So yeah, did he kill her? Did he kill her not? It's still a question that many, many people wonder the answer to. We see Angel and Lulu, they at the house. And remember, I told you Angel's not working as much. I guess Lulu is not doing as much. And they got all this time on their hands now. Now, Lulu pulls out a joint and she's smoking and she tells Angel that it's laced with crack. I was like, oh, Lord. Please, I'm not going to be able to see these two get hooked on crack. First, she tries to offer to Angel, and Angel was like, Poppy don't want her smoking that shit. But then Blanca calls her, tells her to come over. They having a watch party watching OJ run from the police. And so when she hangs up the phone, she was like, come on, give me some. Okay, what's the harm in one puff? But you guys know what they say. One puff is all it takes to get hooked on it. I was like, oh no, Angel's going to be a crackhead. And Lulu, but Angel, like, no. So back at the house, Pray Tell is drunk. Damon is there. And it's so funny because I didn't even recognize Damon. Like, he looks totally different. Did he pick up weight? He even looked lighter skinned. I was like, is that the same Damon? Yeah, it was the same Damon, you guys. But anyway, Pray Tell is there. You guys know how it is when you just tolerate your drunk friend. Okay. You love them. You want them to be around and they drunk. So you just got to deal with it. While they're watching this OJ chase, Damon takes him to the side, pulls him into the other room. And, it was funny when Pray Tell was like, oh, Ricky, you hear that? Damon wants to talk to me in the other room. He was like, show me your dick. I was Y'all drunk ain't shit, y'all. So anyway, Damon takes him to the room and tries to give him a book on Alcoholics Anonymous because Damon is also an alcoholic, a recovering one. So he's trying to help Pray Tell out, but of course Pray Tell, like I said, being stubborn, he don't think he got an alcohol problem. You know, he likes to drink and that's that. So he doesn't take him up on his offer. He's not trying to get no advice from young Damon in this damn Alcoholics Anonymous book. There's a knock at the door and it's Electra. She's like, what the fuck I got to be rushing over here for? Blanca was like, oh my God, O.J. Simpson. He's running from the police. You know, he killed his wife. And Electra was like, he ain't killed that girl. But she sits on down. So, you know, of course, it was just like it drew you in. We all watching to see what's going to happen. And that's where Electra was saying what people were saying at the time, that no, he's not running because he's guilty. He's running because of grief. You know, he knows that people think that he did it and he's going to kill himself. He might kill himself, you know. So now we're trying to see if that's going to happen on TV. Angel and Lulu show up and they still got that lace joint with them. They not really interested in this OJ chase, child. So while everybody is sitting in there watching, they go into the other room and Pray Tell was like coming with them because they said they're going to, you know, take a hit off of the joint. But when they get in the room, Angel tells Pray Tell that it's laced with crack. No, she said it's laced with cocaine. And he was like, nah, that's all right. I'm good. I was like, oh, God, thank God. Because Pray Tell already got a drinking problem, child. We don't need him to also be a crackhead. But we see that Angel and Lulu is already looking like they about to be hooked on it. So back in the other room, OJ and AC, they done made it to the house. And now it's like, oh, my God, is he going to kill himself? You know, they trying to see if they can get in the gate and he's in there and they trying to negotiate with him and have him come out, and so they can arrest him and all of this, right? Now that it's getting good and everybody is sitting there trying to see what's gonna happen, Blanca turns off the TV and was like, oh no, we about to have dinner. You know, they was like, what? Now you done called us over here to watch this and now you want us to have dinner. So they set the table, everybody sits down. So we got everybody kind of like the you know, remember the last group of House of Evangelista, all of them pretty much are there. All right. So Blanca's telling them how, you know, how Blanca always gives her uplifting speeches. All right. And this is, there's no shortage of Blanca speeches, let me tell you, you know, but she tells them basically that she wants to walk one more time. Let's get the house back together so that we can walk against House of Khan, because, you know, she don't like what's becoming with the whole ball, and how House of Khan is now making it just be about money. Okay, let's take it back to where it came from and, you know, show people where it's at. Of course, they're doubtful. And then she's, you know, like I said, one of them uplifting, you know, when we shine brighter than the stars. Okay. And one by one, people start to get on board. Okay, if you do it, I'll do it. If you do it, I'll do it. All right. We're going to get everybody back together and we're going to beat that damn con and we'll make it about creativity again. Even Electra, she says she'll do it, but damn it, if they lose one time, then she's out, because, you know, Electra is not a part of no losing team. So afterwards, she goes back over to her man's house and, you know, he is a doctor, so he's studying antiviral drugs. And, you know, she was teasing him like, you probably was like the smartest in the school. And yes, guilty as charged. You know, he was class valedictorian and whatnots. Blanca comes from a much different background, barely made it through high school, didn't graduate on time, but finally did get her diploma, bounced from job to job, you know, had a struggling childhood, family, you know, of course, because of, not all because of, but a lot of it because of her being transgendered. And I mean, you know, feeling like she was going to become transgender, all of that. So while they're talking, he tells her that he loves her. And she's like, I love you too. And he was like, good, because I want you to meet my parents. And I was just like, well, that, I mean, you know, so she was looking like, yeah, I don't know about that, you know. And he was just like, it's going to be fine. She was just like, your parents are going to judge me. And, you know, we already know where it's going to go. And he was like, no, it's not going to be like that. Don't worry. Like, I'm going to be there. It's going to be fine. Okay. Made it seem like his parents weren't like that. I was like, well, I hope he didn't told his parents what the deal is, because you at least owe your parents and Blanca that, so we don't have no uncomfortable moments, right? So even though she's feeling doubtful, she agrees to do it. So she gets all gussied up. She's talking to her doctor boyfriend about his parents, and he's like, oh, the dad went to Morehouse, the mom went to Spelman, they were college sweethearts. And I was just like, oh well, this is going to be interesting. Okay, you've got like educated for real parents and all this, and their doctor son, and yeah, okay. But anyway, she's getting gussied up to go, but then she gets a call. Cubby ain't doing well. So she rushes off to the hospital instead. And when she gets there, everybody is there around Cubby's bed, including his mom. And it's the last moments for Cubby. They know it. The mom feels guilty. She feels like she pushed him away and kind of maybe might have even pushed him into this result. That's not what she wanted, and all that. So Elektra does tell her nobody knows how to raise a gay child, what you're supposed to do, the right and wrong. So don't be so hard on yourself. But the mom is guilty, and then they listen to the machine flatline. Yeah, it was sad. They're feeling bad. They're all kind of sitting outside of his room, and then here comes Lamar. And Lamar got some empanadas in his hands, and they're like, where the fuck you been? He had a fitting. Okay, well, I'm glad you had a fitting. Do you know that your brother died? And he was like, he didn't know it was as bad as it was. And Blanca was like, I've been calling your ass for the weeks to tell you to get down here and spend some time with your brother. So then they get into an argument because Lamar felt like Cubby started to fall off and wasn't trying to do the right thing as far as, I guess Lamar building the house of Khan. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. So, honey, he say something real slick, and Pray Tell go over there and knock the fucking empanadas out his hand. I was like, please beat his ass, Pray Tell. Because how you gonna say this about your own damn brother who just died? Of course, they can't be fighting in the hospital like this. So once we try to get it calmed down, Elektra says, we're gonna walk tonight. We'll battle House of Khan, okay? And we gonna win. All right, we'll do it in Cubby's honor. So, he's like, fine. But he gonna go in there and spend some time with his brother, so... fine, go on in there. So yes, it's on at the ball. I think it was called the Solstice Ball or something like that. So anyway, we got the Evangelista. We got them back together. All right, we got Lulu, who's still looking good at the time. We got Angel, who looks great. All right, we got Ricky, who comes out and does his thing, and we have Damon, who comes out and does his half ballet, half dance, half Vogue thing that he does as well. Then of course, bringing up the rear, we got Elektra, who's just still very captivating. Even if you're not into this kind of thing, just to see Elektra up there, she's so striking, she's so tall, she's just so I just love it. I love all of the extraness of the balls. I just wish that I could have been gone to one back in the day, like the authentic ones, not like if they do that kind of thing still today. I'm sure it don't feel the same, So anyway, they walk against the House of Khan, and Khan does their thing as well, but they just don't kill it the way that they ain't got an Elektra. Okay, let's just put it that way. They get a couple of 9s. And House of Evangelista only gets 1 9, so of course they win. And House of Khan is salty, and they about to walk off. And then Blanca gets up there, and here she go with uplifting speech number 2, and she tells them that, they did a great job, and, they did this for Cubby, and that they all family, and that we all need to stick together. And, like I said, all of these uplifting, feel-good speeches that Blanca's so good at. She loves everybody there. They're going to donate this money in Cubby's honor. So it was a good time at the ball that night. Afterwards, they all go out to eat. And while they're there, up walks her boyfriend, the doctor. All right. And everybody is like, oh, and she's so surprised that he's there. And I'm sure she feels great that he's supporting her. And, so he comes up, and, they all looking like, oh, did the boyfriend for real come to the dinner with all of us? Pray Tell was like, you better get you a drink before you get grilled. All right. But he sits down and kisses Blanca. So clearly not ashamed, very comfortable where he is with her. And so you can tell that Blanca's happy. And I was like, oh, this is really, really sweet. And a doctor. So I guess everything is feeling good to her. So next day we see that Blanca goes to the school, the nursing school, and she gets an application. And the lady tells her she has 2 weeks to get all of her information in, get her application in. So that she can start on time, and Blanca is excited. She is applying for nursing school. What did you guys think of it? Like I said, I can tell that the writing is different. I feel like they're going to be forcing us to cry this season. Like they are definitely going to be pulling on our heartstrings, definitely going to be trying to, really getting that moment. I hope it's not to the point where it gets on our nerves, because I don't want this show to be that. It's been such a feel-good show, even with all of the things that they are battling and facing. So I just want the show to continue to feel good, okay, even when it's ending. So it was cool, but yeah, we just kind of got to get our mind on this now. It's a lot of differences from the last time that we saw the House of Evangelista. So anyway, you guys tell me what you thought about the episode. All right, you guys, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.